Hello everybody, my name is Reen.
And I'm Core. And welcome to the Wingless channel.
Today we wanted to tell you about a few definitions that are often seen in the wingless community and how to use them while talking to or about wingless Skykids.
First off, we'd just like to point out that while the word capeless is still definitely a used term for many Skykids that don't fly, the reason wingless is a more broadly used definition is because capes can still be equipped while still being flightless. For example, using spells or just being able to see capes in constellations, not to mention the glitches in which winged can temporarily remove their cape. Still means that wingless simply fits better and covers a broader area. That is not to say capeless is incorrect, as again, many still use it, but the more general term is indeed wingless.
Now, moving on to some terms to define types of wingless, there are currently two types of Skykids in the wingless community, those being ants and spiders. Ants are essentially the moths of the wingless world. If you know moths, then you know they typically rely on others for help beginning the game anew, most often sticking together and still in the learning phase. While spiders, on the other hand, are usually much more independent and have been around for long enough to know the ins and outs of how to be wingless, as well as typically having a more colorful and wider variety of cosmetics. Most spiders have experienced several seasons, and sometimes even been to Eden at least once despite not really needing to. And of course, these terms were chosen to stick to the buggy theme of Skykid nicknames within the Sky community.
Another fairly important term to know is automatically collected wing lights, or auto wings for short, and abbreviated to AWL. These are one of the biggest dangers to wingless, consisting of 7 wing lights in the world of Sky. Currently, the 2 known locations of auto wings are the Valley and Wind Paths. Currently, these places are the beginning of Valley on the downhill slide, atop one of the Citadel towers, there are 2 in the flying race, one down the sliding race, and the last in Valley being at the end of both races. And finally, one in the wind paths below the main floating island. These should be avoided at all costs to any wingless who does not wish to lose all their progress and become winged.
Finally, the last couple of terms are a bit more niche, but still used fairly often by many in the wingless community. Those being webbing and ballooning. Webbing simply refers to the act of following a friend midair as if they are attached by an invisible string to the other player. And ballooning is similar to webbing, except it requires 2 players to web at the same time while jumping off of a ledge of some kind. And once again, sticking to the bug theme, these acts are both named after things spiders do in real life. The fact that these techniques are most often used by vets makes it sensible to be named after spider-like behavior. And that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we hope this has been an enjoyable or at least somewhat helpful walkthrough of some common wingless terminology. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already.
And as always, our Discord is linked in the description below if you'd like to join our community. Please feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions for us. We'll do our best to answer them. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.